going to be honest with you, I am in a fucking massive slump right now.
But to understand why I found myself in the trenches, we need to rewind a couple of weeks, because up until then, everything was going a little too good. Strung together 10 weeks of solid training by my standards, and I was in the shape of my life on the bike. In fact, at the start of October, I entered the Snakes Pass hill climb and managed to hit my best ever power numbers, holding 306 watts for 18 minutes. Sort of shit I never thought I'd be able to do.
Oh my days, that was fucking nails.
And then a few days after that, I had the opportunity of a lifetime to go on a trip to Utah with Red Bull to watch Red Bull Rampage, which is their sort of statement mountain bike event on the calendar, and it was unbelievable.
How was that?
Thank you.
Spent the week living out of a trailer in Zion National Park and got to experience some of the coolest shit I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, well, she's got to stay.
So, where did it all go wrong? Well, a wise man once said it takes an average of 10 weeks for a person to form new habits or routine and just a couple of days to break it. And that is exactly what happened to me. Unfortunately, after the trip to Utah, I fell off the wagon hard and I crashed and burned. Metaphorically speaking, of course.
Now, I didn't take my bike on the trip. I figured I was in the shape of my life. 1 week off the bike ain't gonna do no harm whatsoever, no drama. However, when I ended up getting back from the trip, because we had been on various forms of transport to get to the middle of nowhere in Zion National Park, I found myself feeling a semblance of illness just creeping up on my body over the coming days, and I stayed off the bike just to make sure I didn't make it worse, but eventually I ended up with a full-blown cold. Everyone's getting it at this time of year. Nothing too serious, but enough to keep me off the bike for another week. You know, 2 weeks off the bike, it ain't going to be that detrimental to your fitness in the grand scheme of things. It ain't going to help, but it ain't going to be too bad. The problem was, during that week off when I was ill, I became a grade A degenerate, proper cretinous behaviour, reverting to old habits. I just spent the week rotting on the sofa right here, playing FIFA Ultimate Team, eating shite, properly just not really looking after myself, and I started to spiral a little bit. These were old habits that I had from when I was in my 20s, where I would just go out and drink, spend the day hungover on the sofa, playing FIFA, just not good, eating absolutely atrociously as well. One day, for example, I had a Greggs for lunch and a pizza takeaway in the evening. Even by my standards, I don't eat great on the best of days. That was shocking. And then the following week came around, still had the illness lingering in my chest. I wasn't necessarily so motivated to go out on the bike because the weather in the UK at the minute as well, atrocious, cold, wet, windy, the trifecta of shite. And I thought, you know what, whilst I'm here, let's just call this off season and I'll have another week off the bike. Now, in principle, there's nothing wrong with that. Having 3 weeks off the bike after doing 10 months of consistent training, there's no problem with that. But it was the way it made me feel and the behaviour that I started to adopt as part of this off season. I was just like, I started to feel really negative about myself. I had such a little spiral mentally, like I haven't felt that bad about myself in so long. I started to feel anxious. My health anxiety was back. I just felt like a fucking sack of shit. I knew it started to get bad when I found myself trying really hard to justify the bad habits that I'd gotten back into. So I was like, I'll just have one more takeaway today and then I'll start eating healthy tomorrow. I'll just have one more day off the bike and then I'll get back to it properly tomorrow. And then tomorrow would come and I'll be like, oh, just one more day. And it was just a pit of negativity, and yeah, it's a fucking horrible place to be honest. I didn't enjoy it. It's interesting because what I've learned about myself since doing this self-employed content stuff is productivity in my mind is based on two things. It's, am I training? Am I riding the bike or running or whatever it is at the time? And am I progressing my career with this sort of content stuff? So the professional side of stuff and the training side of stuff. And I'd started to feel guilty about not being productive, even though things professionally, like my job, the content and the brand partnerships and stuff were going really well. Because of the absolute lack of fitness, I didn't feel productive. It's crazy how much I personally value the fitness side of stuff and how that has a positive impact on my mental health and how I feel about myself. I didn't realise it was that. I didn't realise it was to that extent, basically. Without the fitness stuff and the exercise, I felt so shit, which is pretty crazy to think about because, like I said, 5 years ago, I would have sat and rotted away for the full year on FIFA and that and not felt an ounce of guilt. Whereas now, doing this self-employed stuff, since I got into the endurance sport side of things, if I have 3 weeks off, I realise I feel like a shell of a bloke. It's not very good. And also what is interesting is me losing fitness is utterly irrelevant. Nobody in the world except myself cares about that. And objectively, it doesn't matter if I lose fitness. I'm not a professional bike rider. I don't even race my bike at an amateur level. My fitness does not matter at all. But as much as I tell myself that, losing fitness that you've worked so hard to get, it just does feel shit. And I think anyone who's in the endurance sport world will tell you that, whether they're amateur level, just getting into the sport, or at the top of it, losing fitness is shit. So after pretty much 4 weeks of rotting away, I had no idea where my fitness was going to be at because of the illness, because of the way I just let myself go, because of the lack of riding. I went out on a ride and I wanted to test my fitness on a climb that I've done about 40 odd times since I started cycling. So I have a lot of data on it. I know what my good numbers are on it and I know what my bad numbers are on it. So the question begs, how much fitness have I lost after 4 weeks of doing practically fucking niche?
Fuck. Oh, I've gone out a bit hard.
And the answer, unfortunately, is actually quite a lot more than I even thought I would lose. Now, this is going to get a little bit nerdy with the numbers, but it's a good illustration as to the level of fitness that I lost after 4 weeks of being a dosser. So my PB up the brickworks was 335 watts, 8 minutes and 20 seconds. And my effort yesterday, with pretty much exactly the same heart rate and perceived effort, was 301 watts and it took me 9 minutes and 22 seconds. That's 30 odd watts below my PB from back in September. And then when you compare these numbers from yesterday to my Snakes Pass hill climb, it's pretty alarming. 306 watts I managed for 18 minutes at the Snakes Pass hill climb 4 weeks ago. Yesterday, I couldn't even manage 306 watts for 10 minutes. That is a generational drop-off by anyone's standards in 4 weeks. I did not expect it to be that drastic. So yeah, lost a bit of fitness. Is the world gonna end? Absolutely not. I'll get it back in no time, I'm sure. And I don't want this to be a dead negative video. This is just the reality of it sometimes. It'd be wrong for me to just come on here and pretend everything's been sick, because it's not, it's been shit. On the fitness side of things, but like I said, professionally, it's all good. The content stuff is flying. I've been working with Oakley lately. Did a video on their Meta Vanguards, them like AI glasses, and I've just literally had this delivered in the post. Let's open this. It's a PR package. And I mean, these are a bit of a dream brand to work with. Dan, we're excited for you to experience Oakley's innovative designs, channel Oakley's disruptive DNA and make it your own. These are the Ellipse 50th anniversary, 50th anniversary glasses. Yeah, don't mind them. They are fucking Bobby Dazzlers, if I do say so myself. But what I'm gonna do about it is, I don't know what I'm going to do about it. I don't have a positive message off the back of this. I'm still in a little bit of a rut. I have been riding the bike a touch more than I was a couple of weeks back, but we're still not out of it. The good news is I am going abroad to Tenerife for a couple of days with some mates to kickstart my winter training. A little bit of a winter training camp. And then in December, I'm going to South Africa for 3 weeks, which again, is going to help. Yeah, that's a bit of a blessing and I cannot wait for that. It's South Africa's summer, so it should be So it should be pretty sunny and we can get back to good habits, because yeah, I've had enough of feeling like shit. So yeah, apologies, this isn't the normal type of video. I'll be back to that in the next couple of weeks when I am away. I'm going to document what we're doing out there on the bikes and stuff, bring some cycling adventures and a little bit more positivity back to the YouTube world, because no one wants to watch me fucking moan all the time. Anyway, if you have watched this far, I appreciate you watching and I'll see you in the next one.